cannot be moved. We cannot be moved. We cannot be moved. We will not be moved. Praise to Yahweh, who lives forever. He cannot be moved. He cannot be moved. He cannot be moved. Those who trust in Yahweh are like Mount Zion. Those who trust in Yahweh are like Mount Zion. Trust in Yahweh. Trust in Yahweh. In Yahweh. Trust in Yahweh. In
Shabbat Shalom, wonderful family, beautiful family. My name is Jason. I'm Caden.
Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel. And we thank you guys very, very much for being a part of our little reading out here on this wonderful, beautiful day of Shabbat. For everybody who's hanging with us on the day of Shabbat, not only are we obeying commandments, but we're also getting rest. And we're doing what our Creator has asked us to do. And we live in that world where it is, well, it's contrary to what the world does. And you will have the people laugh at you when you talk to them about these laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. They will tell you they don't matter. In fact, my dear old mother told me I was going to hell yesterday because I keep the commandments of our Creator. And I asked her which particular commandment was going to send me to the depths of hell for that. And she says just obeying those old commandments of Moses. That was going to do it. So here we are with a different message to everybody out there that if you want to be a child of the Most High according to the book of Scriptures, then we need to obey the laws, statutes, and commands that are found in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Now, it's not a goal for everybody. In fact, most of the people don't care about the law, statutes, and commandments. They don't care about getting in sync with our Creator. They don't care about what eternity is going to look like. And I guess it's one of those things that I'm very, very happy that all of us are able to sit around this table, because we don't find people very often that truly love our Creator with all their heart, mind, and soul. And so if you guys are around this table, much love to all of you guys. Shabbat Shalom to you. Cade, will you please open us up in prayer?
Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for your Shabbat. We thank you for your rest, the day you have given us, that you have specifically told your people to follow. You will bless, and you will bless them for keeping this day, that we are your people if we keep this day. And we ask that your Ruach is with us today to understand the words we're going to read, to open our eyes to your commands, that we are able to change lives, that we're able to see that the Torah is for all generations, that your word is never done away with. And we thank you for your Son. We thank you for your Ruach. We thank you for your prophets. We ask that today is sanctified, today is blessed. We thank you for all in His name. Amen.
Okay, Jade, will you please open us up with the Shema? And the Shema, for anybody who does not know, it means hear and obey. It's a two-street function street that it's not just hear, but it's also hear and obey. That's what it means to Shema. Jade, go ahead.
Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words which I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. And shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Yeah, okay, let us get rolling. I was reading in Joanna's comments. It's the same stuff, right? She says her sister, that their sister said that they bring on curses for following the law. And bounds, I believe that is what you call indoctrination. I believe that is what you actually get when you fall into something that'll probably drive a lot of people off this right out of the gate. But when you look at what the definition of a cult is, like the word C-U-L-T, it's a belief in something. It's just it's a huge belief in something that's kind of not founded. And when you are believing that these laws that we're just about to go over are going to send you to hell, the very first question is which laws? Which one is a law that is so bad that our Creator told us to keep it, but yet if we keep it, He's going to send us to Sheol? That's not that doesn't make any sense, right? And so let us get into this real quick. Mr. Cole, who do we got in our chat? Say hi to everybody.
We have Candy and Ruby. We have Joanna, Sarah, Regina, Razul, I think is how you say that. Emissary, Cain. We also have, did I say the Grandma's here? Elizabeth, Obi Lines, Sound City Solutions, and then Stella G just popped in.
All right. Well, much love to you guys. Much love to everybody in the future who watches this. And guys, before you click off of this, and a lot of you guys will, because the majority of the views come long after the live goes on, and people just, they disappear, right? It's very hard to keep retention when we're talking about things that people have been programmed to not like. And in fact, they've been programmed so much not to like them that when you bring them up, it gets really, really crazy. Now, before we go over this, let's look at dear old moms real quick, because yesterday I had that conversation with dear old mom again. And dear old mom, well, there's a couple things we're going to look at today. And this is after I had a conversation. I call my mom every single Friday, and I talk to her like a good son should. And as I was talking about this again, we always break into this conversation. And I tell mom, I said, look, there's more to this than just that same Christian rhetoric. So this is what I said to mom after our conversation. I said, Mom, listen, this is out of Matthew 7. Enter in through the narrow gate, because the gate is wide and the way is broad that leads to destruction. And there are many who enter in through it, because the gate is narrow and the way is hard pressed, which leads to life. And there are few who find it, right? That sounds kind of, if you are looking for eternity, and we have our Messiah, Yahushua, there were no J's in Hebrew, his name is not Jesus, but we have our Messiah, Yahushua, who tells us that most people don't find life. That should be something sketchy. So I continued on with mom, and I continued on out of Matthew 7. And it says, right, not everyone who says to me, Adonai, Adonai, shall enter into the reign of the Shamayim, but he who is doing the desire of my Father in the Shamayim. Many shall say to me on that day, Adonai, Adonai, have we not nabooed in your name and cast out demons in your name? And he's going to tell them, right? And then I shall declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who work lawlessness. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and does them shall be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain came down, and the floods came, and the winds came and beat on the house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them is basically a fool. And I sent that to mom. I said, just something to consider. I love you. And then she writes back. She goes, I am on the narrow path, but sometimes I don't fit because I'm too fat. And she goes, must be eating too much pork. And I told her, I said, I'm not giving up on you. This is the way it is. But these are the conversations that I get with dear old mom every single week. And dear old mom laughs at you, right? She scoffs at you. And then she tells me I'm going to hell for keeping these commandments. And when I ask her which commandment, she doesn't know. Because Christians by default don't have commandments. And so, guys, we are going to go over these laws, statutes, and commandments right here. And let's get it on right now. Commandment number 1 that we have is be fruitful.
Number 2, multiply. Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
The herb bearing and every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin.
Every clean living thing that lives shall eat food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Every male should be circumcised at 8 days old.
Keep the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, festival of Matzah.
There's one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You should not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat.
On your parents.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbors.
Do not make an altar from rock that you will touch.
Do not go up the altar by the steps.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's laws are criminals.
Do not lie with beasts.
No sacrifice to other Elohim.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false report.
Do not follow the multitude of evil.
Do not judge righteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger who sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land.
Do not make use of anointing oil on an old person. Do not make use of perfume on an old person.
Do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you are going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time of separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie to the woman her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be holy.
Do not reap the corners of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wages they are due.
Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not harm
harm
the
the
disabled.
disabled.
We can first.
Do not endanger your neighbor, and do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not diverse your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult a medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manner of the nation.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, Omerkat, and Pentecost.
Keep the feast of trumpets, Yom Torah.
Keep the feast of his coach. Shem Yateret.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury.
Honor the Yobel, Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
The law of being a Nazir.
Wear the zizit on 4 corners of your garments.
The laws of whoever touches a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance.
And the law of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the Torah upon your hand, the frontlets between your eyes.
Write the law on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger of clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
The law is at the end of the 7-year release.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month one of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year, all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken to the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
Prophet test of Deuteronomy.
Do not move your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child is to get double portions.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them.
A woman shall not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies, take the babies, but not the mother.
If you build a new house with flat roofs that will be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
The law of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing. Before sunset, that was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Now go back to the forgotten sheep in the field. Leave for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out your grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the feast of Sukkot.
Okay, so there we go, guys. Those are these laws, statutes, and commandments that the They're hated by the Christians. They're hated by religion. They're hated by anybody that is a hater of our Creator. Well, then by default you hate his words. And so these are things we don't want to do. Just like our parents, we shouldn't hate what our parents say. We should take their direction as hopefully good direction. And here we are, guys. We are into the book of Leviticus. We are into the 20th chapter. Jade, give me a breakdown of where we're at. What's happening real quick. You got to set up here, though. Our roof is real noisy, guys. It's not like farmers here. It's a tin roof out in the middle of the jungles.
So we are in the desert. We have escaped Egypt. We have gone some wars across the Red Sea. We've gotten some commands. Some people have already gone astray, building a golden calf. They've been killed for their transgressions. We're back getting commands and teaching the Levites. But now we're getting more commands for us. We have the last couple times we've been helping the poor, dealing with leprosy, what to do with our vineyards, and how to be kind and helpful to our neighbors, not hurt them, and be angry with our brother. So here we are getting more commands.
Okay, so here we are. Leviticus 20, and Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, say to the children of Yisrael, any man of the children of Yisrael, or of the strangers who sojourn in Yisrael, who gives any of his offspring to Molech, shall certainly be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. And I shall turn my face against that man, and shall cut him off from the midst of his people, because he has given of his offspring to Molech, so as to defile my Mikdash and profane my Kodesh name. All right, well, let's go. Let's finish this thing about Moloch real quick, and then we're going to talk about Moloch a little bit more. And if the people of the land at all hide their eyes from the man, and he gives any of his offspring to Moloch, and they do not kill him, then I shall turn my face against that man and against his clan, and shall cut him off. And all who go whoring after him, even go whoring after Moloch, from the midst of their people. Sorry, I just went to the wrong thing. Where are we at, guys? Five. Okay, now we can talk about this. Eli, start pulling us up our very first stuff here. Okay, so here we are. Guys, this is, gentlemen, to you guys, what does it look like giving your children to Moloch?
I guess you have some kind of idol, and you kill it to another. You kill your child to another god. Basically, sacrifice your child to another god.
So let's talk about this real quick. This is the command, right? Anyone who gives any of his offspring to Moloch is put to death, right? So if you kill your child in any way that you are offering this child to a false deity, to essentially Baal, to essentially Nimrod, this is what happens. Now, I want you guys, to you guys who can't see my screen over there, how many, let me just read this. I'll just read this to everybody. According to the WHO, right? Don't quote the WHO. It is what it is. Every year in the world, there are around 73 million induced abortions. This corresponds to approximately 200,000 abortions per day. In the USA, where nearly 30% of the pregnancies are unintended, and 40% of these are terminated by abortion. There are between 1,500 to 2,500 abortions in the U.S. per day. Now let's take a look at this. So we have almost 50% of all the unplanned pregnancies are aborted in the United States of America. This is the sacrifice to Moloch. This is the absolute killing off of our children. I don't know why the chat didn't come up on this. This is absolutely an abomination. Now, a lot of people will say, well, these are commands for the land of Israel. So let's take us over to the land of Israel and see if anything's happening over here that's any better. Now, if we look at this, guys, this is the land of Israel, and the search that I did was abortion clinics in Israel. Now, there's pages and pages and pages and pages of these, right? And so some of these places are open till 11 o'clock that you can kill off your kid. So let's go right here. These are abortion clinics in the States, right? When you look, what I looked at for this one is I looked at the fastest abortion clinics, those who could murder the children the fastest, and these are the ones that actually came up. And so we have the DuPont Clinic. Of course, DuPont's in there. We have Planned Parenthood. Yay, go Planned Parenthood, right? That's one of the reasons we actually left the United States of America, because they were chopping up the dead babies that they aborted and selling them off to the medical establishments, and the government was paying for that. That was the year that I decided I was no longer going to be an American citizen, to that I'm going to pay taxes to have my tax money kill off the kids of America. So that's why we left the North America such a long time ago, almost a decade ago now. Now, as we're continuing on, guys, what take of the first five verses on this? It's all about Moloch. It's all about what happens if you give your child to Moloch. It's what happens if you don't do something to the person that offered their child to Moloch. What is this all involved?
We're going to basically stone this dude. We're going
Kill
to
him.
hit the dude with rocks.
Kill him. You kill the babies, you die, right? If you're the person, back in the day, if you were the person that was walking your kids into this abortion clinic, go ahead and take us back into scriptures, you were going to die. You would not be able just to kill off your kid because you killed him off. Yeah, anything that comes from stem cells, aborted fetuses, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff in there. So right out of the gate, if you are a part of anybody who's offering your child to Moloch, and it's the same thing, you may not be taking it up to a big statue and having it in the statue's arms and have that infant fall into a burning pile of coals, but it's the same thing, right? You're having an abortion, you're destroying a life. There's movies out there called The Silent Scream that actually go into the entire abortion and the screams that go on as you shred that child up, right? You can either shred the child up, it's somewhat of a cut-up method. You can either burn the child, where they come out and it's literally all the skin and all the face, everything is all burned completely off. And now what's the crazy thing is they have all of these overnight abortion pills, and anybody can get these. You can go down to any pharmacy anywhere in the States and you can get an overnight abortion pill. And if the baby's not too far along, then you can just kill it off by a pill in of itself. So we are a murdering society anymore. Not only has it become okay and we have Roe versus Wade and you have all this stuff, but actually take me into, there's the one more thing I want to show you guys real quick, because in 2023 was the largest, let me read this article real quick. More than 1 million abortions were provided in the U.S. in 2023. That's a major finding from a report published Tuesday by the Guttmacher Institute, a research organization that supports access to abortion. To be precise, researchers estimate there were 1.26 million abortions in 2023. Highest number in over a decade, and the first time there have been over 1 million abortions provided in the U.S. formal health care system since 2012, right? Supposedly Roe versus Wade is gone now, but you have more abortions in 2023, at least for some states, than they've ever had before. Continuing on, the Guttmacher report also medication abortions rose 63% of all abortions in 2023, up from 53% in 2020. What is this saying, guys? It's saying that all of these people that are having an abortion don't even need to go in the clinic. We're talking about probably 100% more killing off the kids to Moloch just simply by taking this pill. The research was conducted by surveying all in-person and virtual abortion providers in the country and adding up their abortion counts. Guttmacher has been doing this research since 1974. Okay, so it's a problem, right? It is an absolute, without a shadow of a doubt, major problem. Okay, so if you want to offer your kids up to Moloch, you should be dead according to what scriptures say. Continuing on, verse 6. And the being who turns to mediums and to spiritists to go whoring after them, I shall turn my face against that being and cut him off from the midst of his people. Okay, what did this say, fellas?
If you go to witches and people who call upon the dead and stuff like that, cast spells.
Tea readers, all these kind of whatever, Madame Gazelles or whatever the people are that wear their little hats and their little sorcery balls and all that kind of stuff. That's what we don't do, right? The people of our Creator do things like this. And it says this for this reason. 7, and you shall kodosh yourselves. You shall make yourself holy and shall be kodesh. For I am Yahuwah your Elohim. And you shall guard my laws and do them. I am Yahuwah who kadosh you. Now, this is the thing when you bring this up, and you'll tell the Christians, guys, we're supposed to guard the laws. It says over 53 times that we should guard them. They'll laugh at you. They'll scoff at you. like dear old mom makes jokes about her being too fat and because she's eating too much pig and she's fallen off the narrow path. It's real funny until she's standing naked before the creator of the universe and those jokes are being replayed. It's going to be sick. What she says is really, really sick. 8. Actually, part of 7.5. For I am Yahuwah your Elohim, and you shall guard my laws and do them. I am Yahuwah who kodosh you. For everyone who curses his father or his mother shall certainly be put to death. He has cursed his father or his mother, his blood is on him. Now this is a heavy command, right? We live in a world where kids have risen up, the parents have not been good parents, and we don't have many families left in the world. When you look out there, when I talk to a lot of people out there, there's a lot of single people. A lot of single people, they've tried it with their spouses. The spouses are not what they were looking for, right? It all comes from raising. It all comes 100% from, did we have the Torah as children? Do we have the Torah now? When we don't have the Torah, we don't know things like this. We don't understand how important it is to our Creator that we are not cursing our father or mother, right? It's one of these things that it's a death sentence. If we do this, if we are a belligerent child that is sitting out there literally cursing his mother and father, the rocks should be picked up and they should be coming towards our skull. 10. And a man who commits adultery with the wife of another man, who commits adultery with the wife of his neighbor, the adulterer and the adulteress shall certainly be put to death. Guys, this is very, very important. This commandment right here, if you are into pornography, are you into adultery, if your eye, men, are sitting there seeking after these women, if you're unclothing this woman right before your eyes, with your eyes, you're committing adultery. What we're doing with our eyes is the windows to our soul, and this is a command right here of death, right? If we go and cheat on our wife, we are supposed to die. When we commit adultery with pornography, men and women, because it's not just a man thing, this is a man and a woman thing, we are committing adultery. This is a sin forever. You have a 1-minute act that will last for your entire world forever. It will never ever go away. And so guys, as the people out there are struggling to put pornography away, to trying to become kodesh, to become those people who are kadosh, sitting there looking at naked people that have sold their souls to be naked is not the way to the kingdom. Continuing on, 11. And a man who lies with the wife of his father has uncovered the nakedness of his father. Both of them shall certainly be put to death. Their blood is upon them. Now we're getting into some kinky stuff, right? We're getting into the freaky stuff, the stuff that people would definitely say this is totally whack, and by the laws of our Creator, it's totally freaky deeks get killed, right? The rocks come upon them and they go to your head because you should not be lying with the wife of your father, right? Think about this. It's just it's a problem. And it's something that all of us, when we don't know these laws of our Creator, Jeremy's in the house. What's up, brother? When we don't know these laws of our Creator, this is on us. This is all on us. If somebody has laid with your father's wife and you think it's okay, certainly you should be killed. 12. And a man who lies with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall certainly be put to death. They have made confusion. Their blood is up on them. Guys, we're into some hardcore laws, right? These are the laws that the Christians absolutely don't want to hear about. These are the laws to the Christians that are on the cross. Definitely, we don't want to be put to death for this stuff because we can pray to Jesus and Jesus will forgive us for everything. When in fact, praying to Jesus is blasphemy. Praying to Jesus is not biblical. It is not scriptural. I got into that again with dear old mom. She says it doesn't matter. She prays to Jesus. And I'm like, Mom, that is unbiblical. We don't pray to Jesus. It's not in scripture. She's like, well, they're the same person, so I do. It doesn't matter. Like, all right, Mom, have a good day, Mom. Continuing on. And a man who lies with a male as he lies with a woman, both of them have done an abomination. They shall certainly be put to death. Their blood is on them. Guys, look at this. Imagine this law in this world that we are in right here, right? How many people would be dead? Literally, if we lived in a holy land, in a world that is opposed to the laws of the world you can literally have government marriage licenses, and a man can be together, woman and woman. I mean, these are what our Creator has called an abomination, and the world calls this hate speech, right? You can't say this. You can't go against that. Oh, that's terrible. You're going to hurt someone's feelings. Well, feelings are better to be hurt than a rock to your head in the land of people that are holy, right? You should have your feelings hurt and understand that what you're doing is wrong. We, as people of our Creator, have an obligation to talk to people about their sins, right? If we see something that's happening and we don't address it, it falls on us. This is the way of the Creator. Now, continuing on, let's talk about this real quick. Actually, let's read 14. And a man who marries a woman and her mother, it is wickedness. They are burned with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness in your midst. Okay, so now we have a death that's worse than rocks, right? So we have something, and before this, we have to take note of these things, right? Some of them are just, you should die. And when it comes to like being burned by fire, it's probably far better to take a couple of rocks to your skull and get knocked out cold than it is to have your skin fried off. This is one of these things that when a man marries a woman and her mother, it don't look good in the eyes of Yahuwah, right? You're burned with fire. That's a heck of a judgment. Both of you. In fact, it's not just the man, it's the man and the woman. Continuing on. And a man who has intercourse with a beast, he shall certainly be put to death, and the beast you kill. And a woman who approaches any beast and mates with it, you shall kill the woman and the beast. They shall certainly be put to death. Their blood is upon them. Okay, now, right here, let's go into this because I was researching this, and I thought it used to be only Canada that had these laws that it was okay for bestiality. But then I looked this morning, and these places have no rules at all against any form of bestiality. And so it has become very, very rampant. And so here we have this right here. We have Japan, we have Russia, Chile, and you have the Philippines. There's 7 major countries right there. Go ahead and head back that have 0 laws when it comes down to bestiality. Now, I guess it doesn't matter because most people don't keep the laws of our Creator, so I doubt they keep the rest of the laws, but there's a sickness, right? And there is a problem when we have commandments that talk about what happens when we find this kind of sickness in our environment and we kill the person and we kill the animal, right? The animal has become defiled. It's not the animal's fault. It's the person that has done this evil. Okay, 17. And a man who takes his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, and sees her nakedness, and she sees his nakedness, it is a reproach. And they shall be cut off before the eyes of their people. He has uncovered his sister's nakedness. He bears his wickedness. Okay? This is something different than all these other commands that we have, right? This is something that the people don't die, which is interesting, but at the same time, they're kicked out of the camp. Kicked out. They're not normal people, right? You would look at them, they're something that you do not want to see. Very, very important, right? This happens all the time. Evil, evil, evil happens. Continuing on. 18. And a man who lies with a woman during her sickness and uncovers her nakedness, he has laid bare her flow, and she has uncovered the flow of her blood. Both of them shall be cut off from the midst of their people. Okay. I'm not going to go into this too much. This is basically when a woman is cycling, right? It's her time to be left alone. It is her time to rest. It is her time to recover. It's called a cycle for a reason, right? And it's not something where you're amped up and you have a ton of strength and you're ready just to take on the world. This is something that for the most part, most women are laid beat, right? A lot of women are beat. A lot of people aren't. A lot of women don't even know they're cycling. But for men, guys, you don't go into a woman and she's cycling, right? It doesn't happen. Don't do it. It's an abomination. It's a problem. 19. And do not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, nor of your father's sister. That is laying bare one's own flesh. They bear their wickedness, right? All of this pedophilia that we're dealing with, and again, that's almost hate words in this world that we are into because people are, they're okay with pedophilia anymore. And it's gotten so sick. It's always been sick, but it's getting to the point of just beyond sickness. Now, we have a tremendous amount of laws, statutes, and commandments that deal with this, right? We're not to look at our kids naked. They're not to see us naked. The entire unclothing of ourselves within our family, it's not a thing, right? We don't do that. It's an abomination. It's a freak fest, and it's something of Hasatan. It's something that Satan loves. Satan loves to get people naked. He loves to get them dancing around completely naked, abominating themselves, making everybody adulterers, and just laughing at the commands of our Creator. Very, very important. Now, continuing on. 20. And a man who lies with his uncle's wife, that would be your aunt, he has uncovered his uncle's nakedness. They bear their sin. They die childless. Huge things, right? The family, naked parties that we seem to be stuck in the world right now, it's all an abomination, right? It's just an abomination. And these are the things that when we have the kingdom to come, it's going to be nice hanging out with people that aren't part of the freaky deek world, right? That aren't part of this stuff where it makes sense to them to see their kids and their uncles and aunts naked, and it's just the way they are. I'm looking for people who are Yah's people who love a holy way, that we're not going to have to look and we're not going to have to deal with people like this in the kingdom to come. I hope, and if not, they're going to be kicked out for sure. Some rock, yeah, stone. We'll kill them. Yeah, absolutely. In the kingdom to come, man, we're picking up the rocks. It's on. Okay, 22. And I mean, that's a commandment. If you don't pick up the rocks and you saw this go down, you're in trouble for it, right? We're called to be our law keepers of a society. 22. And you shall guard all my laws and all my right rulings. Again, Creator says, you shall guard all my laws and all my right rulings and do them so that the land where I am bringing you does not vomit you out. See, I don't know what dear old mom's talking about, because she says, I'm going to Sheol, I'm going to hell because I keep these old laws, where you see these and it says, guard all my laws and my right rulings forever. There's no expirations. There's never been an expiration date. 23. And do not walk in the laws of the nation which I am driving out before you, for they do all these, and therefore I loathe them. Okay, right? The land back in the days, our Creator wiped out all these abominations. He gave his people a place that was supposed to be clean, that was supposed to be fresh from the great evil. And so that's why he's doing it. And one day we will have this land again, right? Right now we're all in captivity, and everyone around us are just raging Gentiles. Pork eating, Sunday worshiping, laws on the cross, raging Gentiles that don't give a rip about anything about our Creator. We are the exceptions. And again, when Messiah says most don't make the kingdom, look around. What do you got? 20 people in here, 25 people. I believe what scriptures say. 24. But I say to you, you are going to possess their land, and I myself give it to you to possess it, a land flowing with milk and honey. I am Yahuwah your Elohim, who has separated you from the peoples. And you shall make a distinction between clean beasts and unclean, and between unclean birds and clean. And do not make yourselves abominable by beast or by bird or whatever creeps on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. All right, 25 is an amazing verse. What are we missing inside of this verse right here? What exactly are we missing that the Christians can't seem to figure out?
The distinction between clean and unclean.
It's that, but it's also the Christians think everything is food, right? They think that the corpse is food. They think it is food. But for those of us who obey Leviticus guideline law, we know that there's a tremendous amount of animals that aren't food. They were never considered food for us. They were not. It's not part of our dietary laws. And so when they take a translator's thing that says all food has been made clean, it's not food. And if you want to say all food has been made clean, yes, Leviticus 11, all the clean food is clean food, but stuff that's not food isn't food. We have to understand that, and the Christians don't, and they won't. Okay, continuing on. 26. One thing on 25, guys. When our Creator says, do not make yourselves abominable by beast or bird or whatever creeps on the ground, how do you make yourself abominable?
By eating them.
Eating them, or bestiality, anything that you're doing outside of the Kodesh way of living, right? And so when you stick that pig across your mouth, you have become abominable. You're eating an abominable food. and you're laughing at the ways of our Creator. And it's scary. 26. And you shall be Kodesh to me, for I Yahuwah am Kodesh, and have separated you from the peoples to be mine. Guys, this same verse is the same verse that all of us have today, right? Our Creator, if you are here right now, if you have your eyes open, if you believe that the laws of our Creator are for all time and you cherish them and you love them, you have been separated from the rest of this world that absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, laughs, scoffs, mocks, and don't care a bit about the rules from the Creator. So these are always blessings that we have when we know that we've been separated from the people, because we're very rare when it comes to the rest of the world. Even down here, you have a Jewish synagogue, but you have, I don't think I know any Torah keepers. Everybody who we came down here over the last decade who said they're Torah keepers have walked away. They don't wear tzitzits. They don't keep commandments. And so it's very, very rare that you find them. Finishing up on this. 27. And a man or a woman in whom there is a medium shall certainly be put to death. They are to stone them with stones. Their blood is upon them. So here we are right here. We have 2 verses in this chapter that talk about mediums, and we're not to deal with them, right? We're not to deal with the extracurricular forces of evil, the darkness, the stuff that Solomon mastered, right? If you look at one of the darkest characters in all of Scriptures, is probably Solomon. There's probably nobody that did as much damage to the nation of Israel than it was Solomon. And you will have the Christians that are like, oh, look at this guy. Solomon's so wise. He's really, really wise. And he has some wise stuff, right? But when you look at him, when you look at his lifestyle, when you look at his wives and his horses and his leadership, and him literally being the one that got Israel ripped, split, the entire nation of Israel divided into 2 different countries under the hand, right as soon as Solomon was dying. It split into his 2 servants. And if you're looking at great evil, that's the person we don't want to emulate. Solomon is not the guy of holiness. He's not a Kodesh guy at all, in any way, shape, or form. All right, let us get into the book of Matthew. What do we got here? Is the chat still up, or is anyone chatting? Is anything going through?
No,
Just quiet? Okay.
That's pretty quick.
We never know what's going on with YouTube. Okay, so here we are. Let us, Jade, give me a breakdown where we are in Matthew. We're in Matthew 20 right now.
Last time we talked about the Pharisees, and they came to question Yehoshua. They keep trying to test him and figure out if he's who he is, and they keep trying to trick him and catch him in some kind of trap. But he outsmarts them every single time. They're becoming very angry with him. They hate him for what he teaches, and teaches that he doesn't teach the tradition. And so they are plotting and planning against him, and he is moving out throughout the land, finding the lost sheep of Israel.
Okay, beautiful. Here we are. Words of our Messiah. For the reign of the Shamayim, heaven, is like a man, a householder who went out early in the morning to hire workers for his vineyard. And when he had agreed with the workers for a silver piece a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And he went out about the 3rd hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace. And he said to them, you too go into the vineyard, and whatever is right I shall give you. And they went. Having gone out again about the 6th hour, and the 9th hour, sorry guys, I just botched it. 20, where are we at? 6. Having gone out again about the 6th and 9th hour, he did likewise. And about the 11th hour, having gone out, he found others standing idle, and said to them, why do you stand here idle all day? They said to him, because no one had hired us. He said to them, you too go into the vineyard, and whatever is right you shall receive. And when evening came, the master of the vineyard said to his manager, call the workers and pay them their wages, beginning with the last to the first. And when those came who were hired about the 11th hour, they each received a silver piece. And when the first came, they thought they would receive more, but they too received each a silver piece. And when they received it, they grumbled against the householders, saying, these last have worked 1 hour, and you made them equal to us, who have borne the burden and the heat of the day. But he answering said to one of them, friend, I do you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for a silver piece? Take yours and go. But I want to give to this last man as also to you. Is it not right for me to do what I want with my own? Or is your eye evil because I am good? Thus the last shall be first, and the first last. For many are called, but few are chosen. All right, let's talk about this, boys.
So
What
this dude hired a whole bunch of people and started at the first beginning of the day. They work 8 hours. Then you hired people that only work 1 hour, and they all got the exact same pay. And the workers weren't happy about that, right? They worked a lot harder than the guys. They got there for 1 hour and they got the exact same pay.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they all grumbling on why they didn't get the same pay. And then he's like, "Well, you guys all agreed. This is what you agreed upon. This is our deal."
I think this translates to those who have walked in the way of Yahuwah. Maybe you walked in like 20 years, and right before death, one person accepts the Torah. Maybe a couple days before death, and they're like, "Why does God get in? He lived a simple life." And Yahuwah's like, "It's all the same to me. That's you accepted my offer of following the Torah."
That's exactly what it is. Guys, this is a message for all of us today, right? Because a lot of us, we're out there and we're constantly always calling people to the kingdom. And we've been doing this for us, Boss Clan, I think for around a decade now, 7 to 10 years, 7 to 8, 9 years. I don't know how long it's been, but we've been at it for a very, very long time. And it would be like us, like somebody was talking about here, where somebody decides they want to start keeping laws, statutes, and commandments, and they're offered the kingdom, right? They have the entire kingdom. But these guys just came out of a horrible world, right? We found these guys on death row. These guys have already done a whole bunch of dirt where I've had to live a solid life, and I haven't done the kind of wrong they did. And it would be like that if we were angry that for everybody. But that is the promise of the kingdom, is that we can repent and there's only one sin that I've ever found anywhere in scriptures that is a killer, right? It's a soul killer, and that is blasphemy against the Ruach HaKodesh, the hand of our Creator. If you start going off against our Creator in this fashion, it's game over. And even our Messiah said, hey, they can laugh and scoff and mock me. That's okay. But if you want to mess with the hand and the power of our Creator, you're going to get it. So the parable is, or the understanding is, that all of us need to be working for these very last people, right? The last people that can jump on the boat, or for the people that are willing to listen. And it might be just like dear old mom. Dear old mom might make it to her very last moment of her life where she decides, you know what, this Torah is a good thing. And even though she sat there and laughed and went off the entire time, we're going to rejoice, or I'm going to rejoice, because it finally clicked. Now, I honestly don't think that's going to happen. And I pray all the time for dear old mom. But it's just one of these things. Now, continuing on. Where are we at?
17.
17. Okay. And Yahushua, going up to Jerusalem, took the 12 Talmidim aside on the way and said to them, see, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the bin of Adam shall be delivered up to the chief Kohanim and to the scribes, and they shall condemn him to death, and deliver him to the Gentiles to mock and to flog and to impale. And the third day he shall be raised. Okay, Messiah talks about this a lot. We know the bin of Adam. He addresses himself as the bin of Adam. We hear it a tremendous amount of time. But this is the life that our Messiah had to live, where he knew what was going to happen to him, and nobody around him got it. Nobody could figure this out. Peter was like, don't talk like that, Messiah. He's like, that's not going to happen. You got us. We're gonna take care of whoever comes at your way. And Messiah's like, get behind me, Satan, right? He's like, don't stop the progression of the kingdom to come. So then we get into a interesting little story here, 20. Then the mother of the sons of Zabdi came to him with her sons, bowing down and making a request of him. And he said to her, what do you want? And she said to him, command that these two sons of mine might sit, one on your right hand and the other on the left in your reign. But Yahushua answering said, you not know what you ask. You not know what you ask. Are you, that doesn't sound right. Does that sound right to you guys? Mm-hmm. You not know what you ask. Are you able to drink the cup that I am about to drink, and to be immersed with the immersion that I am immersed with? They said to him, we are able. And he said to them, you shall indeed drink my cup, and you shall be immersed with the immersion that I am immersed with. But to sit on my right hand, on my left, is not mine to give, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared by my Father. This is one of these Trinity breaking sections in scriptures that talks very, very clearly. And I sent this to dear old mom, and dear old mom just laughs. It's like, you're crazy, son. But this right here, if our Messiah is honest in everything he says, then what he says right here should be a key breaker for the Trinity breaking. Because what he said to sit on my right hand, on my left, is not mine to give, right? In English education, we have me, I, mine, we, things of this that identify who we are talking about. Now, if somebody says my right hand or my left, but then he says it's not been prepared by my father, we're talking two separate entities. And I know for most that are sitting here listening to this right now, you guys know this, I'm preaching to the choir, but for a tremendous amount of people, nearly everybody I ever encounter, they all think the Father, the Son, and the Ruach HaKodesh are the same entity, and praying to them is the same. They think that that Jesus died, like the Hasatan was able to kill our Creator, and it didn't happen like that. The Creator let his Son die. The Creator did not die. Okay, 24. And when the 10 heard it, they were displeased at the two brothers. But Yahushua called them near and said, you know that the rulers of the Gentiles are masters over them, and those who are great exercise authority over them. But it shall not be so among you. But whoever wants to become great among you, let him be your servant. Okay, thoughts on this particular verse right here, gentlemen?
To become great, you must first serve.
You must humble yourself. You can't come in already great.
Yeah, you're not going to. The greatest of the military commanders of all times have always been the guys that were starting at the front lines, right? The guys that were in the infantry, the guys that have been on the front lines, the guys that they ran through the ranks. If you just toss a guy at the very tippy top he doesn't know anything about battle, then you don't have the right person. And so if any of us want to have a credit card of the Shamayim, we absolutely have to be servants of our people down here, right? Messiah gave us this. When he washed the feet of his disciples, he was showing us the greatest among us being the servant, right? That's why it's almost unfathomable for people when you're washing the feet of other people, and when you actually wash the feet of the people, it's kind of disturbing, right? It's one of these things that, you can wash your own feet, but when you start washing the feet of others and things of this nature, it's the servant among us that does such a thing. Continuing on, Messiah says this, and whoever wants to be first among you, let him be your servant, even as the Ben of Adam did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life, Kai, as a ransom for many. Okay? So this is another example of our Creator's Son that came and did it, and why he is absolutely the greatest leader we can ever have in the kingdom to come. It's not because our Creator just took his kid and tossed him right as our leader. He tossed him at the front lines. He put him at the very beginning of the battle. He gave him as a child, as a baby, who had to learn and operate and grow up as a human in his dad's environment. And so when we have a leader, Messiah didn't come and say, hey, I'm greatest among you. He served in battle with us. He was hungry. He was thirsty. He got cut. He had issues. He got sick, right? All of these same things that we as humans have. He was that man that did it, and he followed it, and he kept the Torah perfectly, which is why we now have a perfect priest. We have a Melchizedek priest, along with our leader, along with our friend, along with our attorney. We have all of this. Continuing on. And as they were leaving Jericho, a large crowd followed him. And see, two blind men sitting by the way, having heard that Yahushua was passing by, cried out, saying, have compassion on us, O Adonai, Ben of David. And the crowd rebuked them that they should be silent. But they cried out all the more, saying, have compassion on us, O Adonai, Ben of David. And Yahushua stopped and called them and said, what do you want me to do for you? And they said to him, Adonai, that our eyes be opened. And having been moved with compassion, Yahushua touched their eyes, and immediately their eyes received sight, and they followed him. Okay, so I think one thing that YouTube did is they killed our comments, so I haven't actually been seeing them, but they are down here on my phone. Yeah, so that is it, guys. That is the end of our reading. Two amazing chapters that I think are absolutely wonderful, along with all the other chapters of Scriptures. And it is with that I wish that you all have a wonderful rest of the Shabbat, that you guys have a wonderful week, that you guys are reading Scriptures, that you're seeking our Creator where he's able to be found. And I hope we can all meet up on the other side in the kingdom to come, as we are a happy people under a wonderful leader with wonderful rules in a place that is set for battle. So with that, everybody, we love y'all. Jade, will you please...
Yehovah barak you and guard you. God make his face shine upon you and show favor unto you. He will lift up his face upon you and give you peace. Thus I shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I myself shall barak them.
Okay. All right, guys. Much love to you. Sorry, guys.
Let the mountains shake, let the earth be moved, let the nations may tremble at your presence. Let your fire burn, let the waters flow, let your name be known to this generation, and come down. You would rend the heavens and come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. Will you restrain yourself any longer? Don't hide your face in your anger. When Jerusalem is oppressed by the nations, the place of your throne, a desolation, come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. There will be thunder in Jerusalem. Like a lion you will roar. Indeed you're angry for the sake of Zion. And all the nations they will know when you come down. You come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. Oh, come Indeed we have sinned, and we need saving. All our righteousness is erased. No eye has seen, no ear has heard, but you prepare to those who wait when you come
All right, beautiful family. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May his grace forever be a part of your life. May the Torah forever be embraced in your life, in your bodies, and may we all see each other in the kingdom to come. Much love to everyone.
All right.